I must say Sri Lanka have been a bit of a disappointment to me. Their batting has spluttered, hasn't quite worked. At times it has, but at times it hasn't. And their bowling has been a big problem. And the main problem has been, I think, that this is the last World Cup for their great spinner and one of the great spinners of the world, Muralitharan, and he just hasn't performed. Whether he's past it, whether this was one World Cup too many, or whether he's not really fit, one doesn't know. But unless he sparkles, it's hard to see Sri Lanka repeating their 1996 triumph. If you look back at Sri Lanka's triumph in 1996, their batting was marvellous. They brought in the idea of pinch hitters, which hadn't been brought into cricket before that, and they could chase down any total. It was fear of the Sri Lankan batsmen that in that semi-final against India in Calcutta, the Indians put the Sri Lankans in, hoping that they would have a total to chase, and that is when the Sri Lankan bowlers came into their own and skittled the Indians out. Now that combination is what took them to the World Cup triumph against Australia, and that combination is not yet evident. Their batting has come good at times, but their bowling really, apart from odd occasions, hasn't really been dominant. And the reason for that, of course, is Muralitharan hasn't quite done it. But this time round, Sri Lanka haven't got that combination together, where the batting and the bowling in a match has really sparkled. Yes, the batting has had its moments. Sangakarra has batted quite well at times, but the batting as a unit, I think, hasn't really performed in the really important matches, and the bowling certainly, with Muralitharan yet to show what a great bowler he is, has meant that the bowling hasn't looked like skittling out the opposition as it did in 1996.
Sri Lanka will be very pleased with their progress so far, I'm sure. A lot of extra pressure when you have the tournament in your home country. Your support will be fanatical and they'll be willing the team on. But so far I think Sangakarra is obviously the leading run scorer of the competition. He's looked at ease in every game that he's played. He's just proved what an absolute quality player he is. He's got the added responsibility of the captaincy and of being wicket-keeper. So 3 strings to his bow and 3 things for him to worry about, but he's been a class apart. And he looks at cricket in complete control of his career and his life at the moment. He looks very calm at the crease, and he's been a fantastic bonus for them really. But they've got other players as well. Obviously Muralitharan will want to go out with a bang. It's his final World Cup, his final international appearance, his swan song. So he'll be wanting to go out on a massive high. And Dilshan looks like he's coming back into form as well. And my favourite player is Jayawardena. I think he looks so elegant and classy that hopefully he'll come good as well for Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka, when they get those big 4 players playing well, are a threat to anybody. But they just lack a little bit in the swing bowling department, apart from Malinga, who started all right but has faded a little bit recently. But they've got every chance they have, of course they have, and we'll see how far they get. If they can lift their World Cup in front of their own supporters, I'm sure they'll be incredibly happy.